Okay, it's telling me we're live and welcome to the show, y'all. Uh I'm actually really tired right now, but we're going to get this thing started. Right now I'm just making sure all the links are working and nothing's going wrong. Let's see what we got here. All right, cool. So I'm live. I have sound. Let me make sure this video. Let me change this video from unlisted to listed. Let me see what we can do here. Give me 1 second. Mm, hmm. My bad, y'all. Just okay, visibility. Here we go. Public. Done. Okay. So that should do it there. All right, yeah. So let me make sure. This is the slow part. Hold on. Okay, cool. It's live. And we got one watching now, and that's me. But I'm gonna have my friends come on in a minute and we'll get this party started. Uh, yeah, so I just launched the second Kickstarter for Air Rider High School Hero today, and I'm just glad I got it out there. I'm glad I'm like not dead tired right now. I had like a little nap before starting the stream, so I could at least get a little bit of sleep. Last night, the night before I started this, I was like, I was just trying to get everything ready to go and putting all the images and stuff together. I really should plan things out better, but that's just the way it goes, man. Sometimes it's just like the last minute. I got to put this all together and get it done. I thought I had more time than I really did, so the whole weekend I was spending just trying to get the trailer finished, get the trailer done, and then get the assets all in place. A lot of the stuff was just kind of what's the word? Like click and drag, like just replacing, swapping out stuff that I already had there. So I already had images for issue two's cover, and all I had to do was swap it out with whatever I had on the previous campaign. So that's what I did there. And give me 1 second. I'm gonna put a link to this live stream on. Let me see, on YouTube as well. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Video details. Copy that. Copy video link. Sorry, I always have to do these. What's it called? Random internet things while getting things ready. I'm still new to the whole live streaming thing, so it's like a work in progress learning this stuff. Live stream. There we go. All right. Edit preview. No, that's good. Post. You can't even see what I'm doing, so it's just like, all right. So that was the last thing I needed to do here before we really get into it. Let me see. I also have to send out the link to some other friends and buddies and whatnot. Copy. And I'll paste it here. Nobody's here anyway, so I can do whatever I want. It's just zero people, so it's like, all right, let me just hang out and send out to whoever I need to send out right now. Let's see. Let me go to Google Documents. I use Google Documents as like basically a portal to everything. Like it's on my phone, so it's going to be on anything I post from the computer. I can put on my phone. Paste. There we go. And I'll send that to my other buddy, and he'll jump in whenever. I feel like talking about just random anime and manga stuff and writing stuff, and that's just the kind of thing I like to talk about in general. Rather than talking about Air Rider the whole time, but I should at least do my due diligence on that so that y'all know how to actually back the campaign. Paste. Here we go. Okay. Is that everyone? Dope. So that's everyone invited. That's on there. And now we got what the we got my buddy David. David watching the stream. How you doing, man? How you doing? Oh man, we were supposed to talk on Sunday, but I was busy just doing this, getting my whole setup ready for the Kickstarter. So that's why we weren't able to talk yet. But we'll get around to it, man. We'll get around to it. Dope. So let's see. All right. So what I'll do, I'll share my screen so that we can take a look at the Kickstarter and everything we got. He says, "Congratulations on the Kickstarter, bro. Keep up the good work." Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Some good things are happening now as a result of launching the second Kickstarter. I think people are starting to see that it's that Air Rider is not just a one and done type thing. It's like it's something that I can keep going, keep pursuing and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Present. Share screen. Air Rider. Yep. Share. All right, dope. Y'all can see that. Dope. So we got 8 backers so far. $161. Let's see what's going on here. So this is the this is where the trailer goes. And if you've seen my YouTube recently, or if you've seen my social media recently, then you've probably seen the trailer by now. If not, then go check it out. It's pretty nice. And so then here's the basically the page for the for all the information here. So we got a new sticker for this campaign. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog theme. Like there's always a theme. There's always a Sonic theme behind it, just because Air Rider fits with that vibe. I think in his in the context of the world of Air Rider. And so I'm working with Zach Marois. He was a friend at the Kubert School, and now we collaborated on a 6-page mini comic. I was able to use his character Sondron to do a little comic for an anthology that he had, and he's now doing a cover for Air Rider #2. And so this is the cover he drew. It looks really dope. It's really well drawn and inked, and he put a lot of thought into actually like drawing out this janitor's closet and putting all the stuff and odds and ends in there. He really went all out on this piece, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to do it justice in the colors. We're gonna have some like speech balloons, talk like where like in classic comic covers where it's like stuff is happening. There's story happening on the cover, so that you're like, oh, what's going on here, and that was all his idea. He was like, "Yo, what if we had some speech balloons and made it like a story on the cover? That would be dope." And so it's like the idea behind it is Eric, he's injured and changing in the janitor's closet, and it might not be all the way locked. So somebody's shaking the door handle right here, and he's like, "Oh, just a minute," that kind of thing. So it's really dope, and I'm really happy with the work he did here. And so Air Rider itself is about the son of a school shooter who has to become a hero to right the wrongs of his father. And I came up with that story a long time ago. Oh, hey, Brainwave. He says, "Oh, this is Spencer." Oh, okay. Hey, Spencer, how you doing, man? Nice. Yeah, good to see you, man. Appreciate you coming out. I'm just talking about the campaign and everything that's going on with that. Uh Hey, what's up, Massive Panda? I've been seeing your comments, man. I appreciate the support, dude. Um yeah, man. I'm just talking about Air Rider and the campaign and what I got so far. So here we go. Let me dive into that. So Air Rider, it is I already said it's about the son of a school shooter who has to become a hero to right the wrongs of his father's past. And I came up with that story when I came up with the premise of it when I was about 17. And I was just thinking about what's the darkest or most edgiest thing I can think of that wouldn't even be possible, but would make for a really cool story. And so I was reading Great Teacher Onizuka at the time, which is this great manga. Well, actually, I was watching the anime, and it's just this great show about this delinquent teacher who well, he's a former delinquent who becomes a teacher, and he has to deal with rowdy students who are always trying to get the best of him. And basically the whole story is about how he transforms their lives by just being who he is. And I wanted when I was a kid, I wanted or when I was 17, when I was coming up with the idea of Air Rider, I had the same idea for Eric. And I was wondering, how can I make something that feels as impactful as Great Teacher Onizuka? When I was reading it, I was like, this is I feel so great when I'm reading this. I want to make something that feels just like it. I want to create that same feeling in other people. And that's really my whole drive behind writing in general and creating art in general, is trying to find a way to make people feel the great things that I felt when I was a kid, and just learning and just reading my favorite manga and watching awesome TV shows and all that stuff. Brainwave or Spencer says, good to see you too. Proud of your hustle. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Let's see, Master Panda. Just curious, do you ever get any pushback about the subject matter and the his father's past, since it relates to real world issues? I dig that you had the cojones to craft a story like this. Appreciate that, Massive Panda, and that's a great question. No, actually, I haven't had any pushback on the subject matter. And what happens when I tell people about the premise is that people are initially like shocked, like, "Oh wow, how's that? How are you going to turn that into a story, or what's this going to be like?" And I try to make sure, like on the Kickstarter page, I make sure that it's very clear that despite the premise of like a school shooter, there's no like messy politics. There's no, it doesn't get into any of that the politics behind it or all that deep dark stuff. It just keeps that lighthearted tone until it goes dark, until it goes to that darker place. And that would happen later in the story. It's kind of like how usually manga and anime start off, where they start off light in tone, but then you start to find more and more about the as you get deeper and deeper into the story and learn more and more about the main character, you get into their past and what made them the way they are and how it came to be. And a lot of people's biggest questions about the premise of the story is, how did a school shooter even have a kid? And I know the exact answer behind that, and that won't be revealed until I'm 40. That won't be revealed for a long, long time. But one day you will know, and I'm gonna make sure that it's the best story that I can possibly make it until that point. Because I think the whole reason behind it, or the climax of the entire story, makes this process that I'm going through worth it. It makes the process of writing and drawing this comic worth it, because I think by the end, people will just be like, wow, that was actually a really amazing story I just read. In fact, I think I'll just read it again. It's kind of like that SpongeBob episode where that what's this guy? King Neptune, he is just like, you know what, that was so delicious. I think I'll eat it again. And let's see. Just some girl without a mustache. My favorite dog, Ningen arc for real. Um Maybe that's part of dog Ningen. I want to say it the real way, but I'm just gonna chill today. I don't have that vibe right now. But I've been meaning to get into dog. Fuck it, I've been meaning to get into Dog Nigga. It's been like I've seen it online, and the guy is really great at marketing it. But um, I don't know. I've just been like super busy trying to get this Kickstarter off the ground right now. So it's like when I get to it, I'll get to it. But it seems like it's just a really insane premise, and it matches the vibe of the author so well that it's like, man, I gotta I want to see I want to see how this story turns out. But let me see. Massive Panda, what do you say? I have a theory about how his father had a kid and that it relates to his heinous actions in the past, but I don't want to say it because if I'm right, it might spoil it for myself. That's how people try to theorize what the One Piece is, and some people probably might have gotten it right, and the writer might have to um figure out a way out of that after people guess it correctly and whatnot. In fact, I want to get your actual thoughts on what you think happened, so that I can be like, no, that didn't happen, or so I can like not tell you whether that's the correct or not, but keep it in mind for what people might be thinking about, like in terms of how it happens. Because a lot of stories these days, or stories in general, like, are pretty, not that they're predictable, but even if you can predict how something is going to happen, or what actually happens in the story, it's all a matter of how it's dramatized in the story. It's all a matter of how it's carried off in the actual proceedings of the story. If it's actually drawn well, or dramatized well, then you're like, even if you have spoilers, even if you know what happened in the story to make things happen that way, it still feels like um a massive like surprise when you're just like, whoa, okay, wow, that actually blew my mind. That's actually crazy. Um, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I think he got a chick pregnant when he was in high school, couldn't deal with the pressure of having a kid as a teenager, and did what he did. Nope. That's that's not it. The only part that's true is even that I can't say. Even that I won't say. So whatever is true, like it's up in the air, you know what I mean? Like that spoiler won't be, I won't even give a single hint at what might be true about it. Let me see. Just some girl with a mustache. I wanted to as well, but I was worried about YouTube taking down my comment. Oh, yeah. YouTube always does that stuff. So it's like, um, you can leave a comment and you'll think like, oh, I got a bunch of likes and whatnot, but then the next day you'll see it's not even there. YouTube will just shadow delete your comments and they won't even say anything about it. So Massive Panda says, damn. But yeah, like I'm not gonna say anything about how it turns out, but I think the story is worth telling. Like it's not something I can just sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna draw a comic today," and and then just fucking blurt out whatever comes to mind. Really, to be honest, Air Rider is a vehicle for me to draw how like all this basically this style of stuff, and I wanted it to have a solid narrative, a solid story, so that I wouldn't just be drawing it for no reason. The main thing that I wanted to get right in the beginning was to have a good story behind it so that it would at least feel like it was worth it to draw. Like there's so many stories that are really well drawn that really don't have too much substance behind them. So it's like, well, why am I continuing to read it? Like I can look at pretty art anywhere. I can just look at the pages without reading it. Um, but it's when the story or it's when the pretty art is combined with a solid story, a solid narrative that is leading to something that makes you want to keep reading and keep investing time in the story. So that's what I wanted to do with Air Rider. I wanted to give it a strong story so that I had a vehicle to put as much of this style of stuff as I wanted in the art and all that. So what was I about to say? Oh yeah. I could show y'all a little bit of the kind of art that inspires me because it's really the whole reason why I draw. I want to convey. Let me see if I can. Let me open a new tab and go to Pinterest. Pinterest is my favorite website. I used to be on there like I don't know how many hours per day just finding different pieces of art. It used to be DeviantArt. So I went from DeviantArt and then I evolved. I would just favorite everything, got thousands of favorites in there. Then I evolved to what was it called? Um I evolved to Tumblr. Tumblr was then I would just scroll my feed until I caught up with my feed from the day before, and I'd be like, "Oh man, I'm out of stuff." And then I would just keep doing that every day on Tumblr and just like scrolling and finding and reblogging stuff and finding cool art and gifs and all that stuff and just saving as much as I possibly could. Because I like finding great art that what's the word? Great art that shows me what I can potentially draw. It shows me the potential of art itself. And um that's just what I like seeing. Yoshi Hiroda, what does he say? Is Air Rider number one physical only? Air Rider number one, you know what? I would just I'm gonna put that in the the bundle, like the digital file. So the digital file, it's gonna include Air Rider number two, the PDF, But when you sign up for the email list, it gives you number 1 and number 2 anyway. But I'm just gonna include number 1 in the digital file, and I'll probably put that in the FAQ section as well. Um, and it also includes the 40-page, like, issue number 3 is 40 pages, so I'm gonna put the 40-page preview of issue 3 in Air Rider, the digital file, because like I have the whole story like written out. It's all written out and it's drawn for the most part in what's the word? And I've scanned it in. So you're gonna see a bunch of these pages actually. I have a lot of them right here. So let me pull those up. And let me see. We got Jeremiah in the house. What's up, man? Jet Set Radio Future is an inspiration. Your proportions and shape language remind me of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the inspirations because it's just really heavily Y2K early 2000s style, and I love that stuff. But usually I don't watch stories or read comics from that era, just because I felt like I couldn't really connect too much to all the stories that they had. So uh, okay. Um, so their video games are great, and I want to get that Cyberpunk Bomb Rush Cyberpunk game because that looks awesome, and they have it on the Switch, so I'm gonna get that at some point. But I don't think I have any time to play games anymore. I think my video gaming days are over. Let me go back to Yoshi's question. Is Air Rider number 1 physical only? No, it's not physical only. You can grab it in. Let me see. There's a bundle here that will give it to you. Oh yeah, Teacher's Beast is the same. Basically the same tier that I had on the last one, but number 2 is the priority on this one. And you can also grab it in the add-on section. So when you actually back one of the tiers, any tier that you want, you can go to the add-on section, which it wouldn't work for me because I'm me, so I can't back my own project. But let me see. Will it show where the add-ons are? No. Rewards. Let's see. Uh yeah, I can't find where the add-ons would be. Let's see. But if you sign up, it'll take you to where the add-ons are. Okay, so here it shows the optional add-ons. I'll zoom into that. So you get the sticker for $3 more, $5 for the Secret Hero mini print, the one from last campaign, and then $10 for Air Rider number 1. So that's if you want to add Air Rider number 1 to your order. You just it's for $10 more. You add a number 1 to your order. And the same thing with the variant covers. They're all the same price, so you can just add any one of those if you want. So yeah, those are all the add-ons that are included pretty much with every tier, except digital. Yeah, digital doesn't. You don't get that because that would be a big hassle. Let's see. So let me go back and let's see. Massive Panda, he says, yeah, man, I had to stop gaming like 2011, 2012. Dang, all the way back then, because it was keeping me from getting art done. I haven't turned on a console since then. Damn, not gonna lie, I kind of miss it. Yeah, man. I don't think I've turned on a console in like a year or so, man. And I see all these great games come out. It's like, what do they got? Like Black something Wukong. They got the Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero out, and people are all playing that. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, yep. I'm just looking at it, and it's just that's all I can do. I can just look at it and enjoy it from a distance because that's the only way I can actually get any artwork done and whatnot. I want to see your your art at some point, Massive Panda. I don't think I've seen your stuff. I know you have your channel, but I don't know if you post videos and all that. Um, but yeah, it's just such a time sink. I used to love playing Smash and going online and doing all the competitions and whatnot, and that was well, not competitions in real life, but just playing against other people online was fun and frustrating at the same time, but it was great. And now I just don't have time anymore. I can't do it. So here are some of the pages for Air Rider number 1. Let me show you what I got here. No name collects. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? I'm doing all right. Um, and here are the pages for Air Rider number 1. We're just discussing the start of Air Rider number 3. And here are the inks that I've been working on for I don't know how many years. These are some of the inks for those pages. And this number 3 preview is going to be included in the PDF version of in the PDF file for Air Rider number 2. And I think I'll have some pages in the printed version just as a sneak peek of what's to come in Air Rider issue number 3. So I've been working on Air Rider issue number 3 for a long time. I think it's been more than a year, and that's just because I've spent the whole last year figuring out how to market myself. And oh yeah, these are some pencils. Appreciate it. No Name Collects. Thank you very much. And yeah, I've just been appreciate it, Massive Panda. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've just been what's the word? So focused on I was so focused on marketing and learning all that stuff last year that I didn't have any time to draw or write or do anything. So it's just like, okay, now that I've gotten enough skills to where I can actually just execute instead of learning more marketing stuff. I mean, there's always more to learn, especially with integrating like AI and stuff and trying to use that to help speed up some processes and whatnot. Um, Other than like instead of having to learn everything, I can just kind of execute on that. Like I was able to just launch this Kickstarter. I knew what I had to do, so I didn't have to learn what I had to do. I already knew, so I could just implement the steps and keep it going. Um so I was able to launch just based off of things I already knew about marketing and whatnot. And I still have like a lot more to learn, but the thing is, like right now, I have to just focus on like once this Kickstarter is over, I want to focus on just drawing, and then I also want to help people uh with writing, like writing questions, writing help, and figuring out how to structure a narrative, structure a story, so that they can, if they have problems with their script, they can fix those, and I can help them out with that. I might try to get into story consulting or something like that at some point, I just so I can make use of all the things that I learned about writing and all that. Hey, Cobas Lookout, what's up, man? Yo, good luck on the Kickstarter, bro. Appreciate it, man. Uh, it's coming along. Let me see what we got. I think I'm not. Oh yeah, I wasn't sharing the screen. And just some girl with a mustache. You know, there's another guy his name is just some guy with a mustache, and he's on under every single video, every single manga or anime related video. He just makes a comment, and people are like, "Man, I've seen you before." I finally one day like clicked on his channel just to see if he had anything on there, and I forget what I even saw. I don't know if he posts or not, but there's just some guy without a mustache and just some guy with a mustache. So I don't know if they're the same guy. Probably they are, but it's just like I'll see him under every single anime video. I'm just like, dude, where do you keep coming from? And I guess that's just what he does all day for his job. He just posts under anime related videos. So here we go. So here are the pages. Here's more pages for. Is that one spoilery? No, I guess not, but it is what it is. So here we go. We got another page from issue number 3, and it's by this time that I'm starting to okay, cool. That I'm starting to get like a little bit better at my draftsmanship and actually putting pages together. Because before, what was different about before? I just wasn't as sure about my lines. Even here, I'm just like I'm still getting back into the swing of drawing, and not everything is looking as confident as it should be. So then these couple of pages are when I started getting back into like drawing, what's the word? Oh, figuring out like backgrounds and expressions and stuff like that. And there's like a little boob shot or whatever. Koba says, what do you mainly ink with? Pens? Yep. I ink with nib pens. Nib pens and microns. So I'll use, these are my favorites. Oh, whoops. These are my favorites. The Faber, are they Faber Castell? Yeah, they are. Faber Castell, and they come in like small, medium, brush size, and I'll use like the Sakura microns, and that helps out with detail work and finishing touches. And I'll use this for finishing touches as well. What is it? Oh yeah, my main tool of choice is nib pens. So let me see if I can get this in the camera. They're kind of dirty because I haven't used them in a while. So they're just kind of. I got the nib holder, Tachikawa, from Jet Pens, I think maybe. And this is a regular nib from sketching set from, what's it called? Hobby Lobby. It's just a nib pen set of nibs that you can dip in ink and get from Hobby Lobby. And I always use, my main ink of choice is Bombay Black, and I've been using ink since I was born, basically. Since I was like maybe 12 or 14. I read this book called Pen and Ink, because I wanted to learn how manga creators were drawing. Give me 1 second, I'll pull up the book. All right, I found it. And basically, I just read this book from front to back and learned how to draw manga from this. Let me see. Hey Shane, what's up, man? Back today, bro. Variant cover. Yep. I'm gonna have to go hard on that, on the coloring on that, because one, Zach did it, and two, it's like, oh man, I gotta make it sing, talk about your buddy from the Cooper School and the decision to give him a cover on book 2. Oh yeah, for sure. Let me answer these questions, these other comments, and then I'll get right back to that. Let's see. Massive Panda, I love that page with the hottie in the black dress. You're talking about this one. Yeah, man. yeah. I think a lot of people will like that page. But I took extra care to draw this page really well, and especially a lot of care on the skirt, because if you get those effects just right, then it really sells like, oh, this is a actual like um like it really sells the volume of the drawing and whatnot. Let's see. Said, damn, that's crazy. I've never heard of just some guy without a mustache. Definitely not related to him in any way. That seems dubious, but I'll just take your word for it for now. Let's see. Kova's Lookout. Nice. I've recently gotten back into traditional work and I ink with brushes. Winsor Newton #3, especially mainly, and microns for small details. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that really helps for small details. What's up, Red? How you doing, man? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Said bro said he was born holding a G pen. No, man, it's just like as soon as I figured out that that's what they were doing to create the art, I was like, all right, I need to get that wherever it is, wherever I can find it. And then one day I just stumbled upon it in Hobby Lobby, so that's how I found the pens to be able to use them. And so Shane, he was asking about he said, talk about your buddy from the Kubert school and the decision to give him a cover on book 2. So let me share my screen again. How do I do that? Oh, let me take my screen. Okay, so there we go. And let me go back to the campaign itself. Whoops. All right, here we go. Did we get any pledges while we were? Yeah, we did. Awesome. We got, I think, a digital pledge. Somebody backed. Nice. All right, so we'll go to campaign. And yeah, my buddy Zach. Man, when when I met him, he was like screaming. He was just yelling loud in the Kubert school, and I was just like, man, this guy is loud as fuck. But he was bold, and he had enough like tenacity to create and pull together a bunch of people to make his anthology comic during school while everyone was busy and all that stuff. He pulled them all together and put a book out during school. So I was just like, wow, yeah, that's really dope. I got to do that. So we kept in touch even after the Kubert school, even after we both graduated, and he was putting out another anthology. And so I had he gave me a 6-page story to do, or he gave me a story to write, and I was just like, all right, let me just draw something up. Let me draw like a 6-page story or something like that. And I don't know if he was like saying like, oh, it should be 6 pages, or I was just like, I think I can fit what I want to say in 6 pages. I forget which one it was, but needless to say, it was just a 6-page story is what came out. So it featured his character and my character, and it was just in the vein of like he was telling a story about a time that he met a purple alien character, and he was fighting a villain. The story around it is that he was fighting a villain that was let me see. Let me see if I can share where. Okay, so I'll pull up the actual art in another page, and then I'll share where that came from. So the story around it was that he was actually fighting a villain from that could send him to other dimensions, other worlds, and this villain sent him to eventually to Sonderon's world, or the purple alien character. He sent him to his world. So that's how I was able to put him in there in a way that made sense to the story. And here is, let me share my other screen. Share this tab instead. So here are the story pages without the words. I'm posting them on, what's it called? Twitter right now. Twitter and other places. And let me see. So I did a 6-page story for him back in like 2021, and he owed me. So and he said he owed me. He was like, "Oh man, you did a lot of pages for that." And because the book, it didn't go through. So when he tried to do a Kickstarter for it, it didn't fulfill, or it didn't. It's not that it didn't fulfill. It didn't meet the funds. It didn't raise the funds. So um it was almost as if I did the pages for nothing. But at the at the time, it didn't really matter to me because I was just drawing to draw. I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna draw for whatever reason. And then these pages came out, and I was just like, all right, cool. That was my practice, like after school practice to keep sharp and keep drawing in uh and not getting rusty and all that. So yeah, this is the main villain. This is the villain that could send him to different portals, different worlds, and all that stuff, and send the main character traveling to different worlds. So I think I'm gonna reuse this design because it's really dope. Uh, and he's definitely gonna be in like the main story at some point. But yeah, he goes to different worlds, stops off at a what this is a character from one of my other friends at the Cooper School. His name is Troglodyte, and I wanted to give him a really badass silhouette. And so he meets him, and he turns out to be friendly, of course, because we're buddies in real life. And so then Eric just or Air Rider just travels through different places and eventually makes it to Sonderon's ship, and he's looking for a way home. And Sonderon points him out to his like teleporter pad or something like that he has in the back, and then my character immediately runs into it, and he's able to head home from there. So let me see. Can we get to the next page? There we go. Yeah, so he goes into it, and then he comes back, sneaks up behind the villain, and then defeats him. And that's the end of that story. So and then Sonderon comes in at the end. He's like, "Oh wow, what? That guy wasn't a figment of my imagination, or something like that." And then that's the end of it. So basically, after doing those 6 pages and helping him with some of the marketing on his other books, he was like, "You know what? Let me pay you back by doing a cover for Air Rider." And he went all in. Share this tab instead. He went all in drawing this piece, and it came out great. So I'm gonna go ahead and color it up. He already done the flat, so I'm just gonna go from there and make it into something that's really worth looking at. And yeah, it just looks awesome. Even did like a little news. What the hell? Like a little news thing in the back. Oh yeah, I made it link to his page. He did like a news thing in the back there, and yeah. So yeah, that's the story behind why he did a cover for issue 2 of Air Rider. And let's see. All right. So what else? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about the let me present my screen. So I was talking about the inks I'm doing for issue 3. Maybe one day I'll sell this page, but that would probably be the day that Air Rider gets like popular. You know, like gets really really, what's the word? A lot of notoriety, like Invincible or whatever. You can sell the Invincible pages and they'll sell a lot, but that's just because it's like a popular is a popular franchise, so you can sell all the pages and make a lot of money from it. So yeah, this is you got to put some of that stuff in there, man. You got to put some of that, you know what I mean? Like you put some of it. It gets people's attention, you know what I mean? And so that's another page from that, and this is the last one I'll show. Let's see. Awesome. And so then we got just a crazy shot of Eric. He's like clapping because everyone's trying to make fun of him, and then the guy who's responsible for it, he's like right there, so he's got to get him, and then he gets stopped by who? We'll find out in issue 3. Appreciate it, Shane. Appreciate it. Yeah, everyone, go back book 2. Let me see what we got here on book 2. Let's see. All right, all right. Oh, we got 10 backers. We got one backer. Nice. Awesome. So this on this campaign, um I didn't really go as hard as the first campaign. The first campaign, I went all out in promoting and trying to get people on my email list, trying to um make sure everything was linked correctly. Everything is linked correctly on this one, but that's just because I know how to do it from last time, from doing it before, and from muscle memory. Because yet last year I every single day I would post a new tweet to Twitter. Every single day I would do something online in a way that would forward my art career and market myself and put myself out there and network with people and all that kind of stuff. I was doing all that last year. And this year is like, it's not that I don't have the motivation to do it anymore, but it's like I'm taking a step back and not going as hard because it's mainly the hardest to launch your career or to start something up, and not as hard to what's the word, not as hard to keep it going afterward. um in this case is like, okay, so I've already put out number 1. Number 2, I can use this as sort of a, what's the word, as a reprieve, and the get number 2 out in a timely manner, but then really plan for number 3 to be a really great launch, really plan for that one to be the one that uh brings the most people in, because I think if I can prove that I can do this 3 times in a row, or get it out in a timely manner, then people are like, okay, this guy's not giving up. This guy's he's got some staying power, and he's still going. Hey, what's up, Cody? Appreciate it. Happy launch party. Appreciate it, man. Um, and I think that's one. I think that's very important too. Like, um, I think in the game of comics, it's not the person who has the most early success and early or easy success is not them who lasts the longest. It's a lot of the times the ones who do the best are the ones who just lasted longer than their competition. They stayed in the game longer than everyone else, and when everyone else was giving up and going to do something else, they just stayed in the game longer than anyone else. So they won by attrition. They won by everyone else dropping off the face of the earth for whatever reason or another. Like, everyone else gave up, and that person just kept going and kept being consistent, and that's what led to their success. Because a lot of the people that you see that are super successful now, um there were plenty of other creators that were just as successful, if not more, at the same time that these creators are blowing up now. The let's say like comic creators that are blowing up now, that got their own animated TV shows or got their this and that. um there were comics and creators that blew up way before them and had early success and had all the accolades and fame and internet success and all that stuff, but they're nowhere to be seen nowadays. They're doing other things, or they're just not in comics anymore. It's the ones that kept going and kept persisting and kept their jobs, their day jobs, and kept putting out comics that eventually succeeded. Let's see. Cody says that's also the case for art in general. If you don't quit, others will. Yes, absolutely. That's like a that's a very simple way to put it. Um, Others will, yeah, definitely. And then you just win by you're still on the court after everyone's left. Like you're still there. You're still the only one there. So that's really why a lot of creators succeed, um that I see. And so let me show you guys what inspires me in terms of art. So I think one day your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Restart your browser if this continues to be a problem. Let me make sure my mic is correct. Audio. Let me test. Okay. Browser has locked. Can you guys hear me still? Let me know. And let me open up. What's it called? Okay. He says I'm good. Please open swipe file 2, please. Thank you. Why? Let me see what I got in there. Swipe file 2. Oh, that one's gonna be at the bottom or something. But yeah, swipe file is basically my okay, so and this one's not even my best. Swipe file 2 is just because swipe file 1 was super full. But okay, yeah, appreciate it, y'all. So the audio is good. But yeah, swipe file 2 is because swipe file 1 was super full. But let me go to the bottom of it. And basically, my swipe file is for character designs, like character designs, especially female character designs that I really like the proportions. I like how they're drawn. I like the line work or certain aspects about their drawing that I'm just like, yo, this is actually legit. If I can take some elements, steal some elements of that and use it in my own work, I think that would be really dope. Okay, so this is what you wanted, Yoshi. You wanted this. Boon draws not safe for work. Okay, so this one's safe for work. But yeah, yeah. What's her name? Fucking Dark Magician Girl. She's like a really great design from what's it called? Yu-Gi-Oh! And I want to take some elements of the charm of the character and make my own characters out of it. So the whole reason that I take from or that I collect all these pieces of art is so that I can make characters that look like them, but then have a deeper story behind them. Because I don't want like sometimes like you can look at a piece of art and you're just like, all right, that's a really nice piece of art. But then if you connect it to a story, it has the ability to make it deeper than it is, but it also has the ability to make the art itself weaker in a way. Because if the story is not solid behind it, then you're just like, well, why am I reading this? Like this is kind of boring. I mean, I like the art. The art's cool. I especially like this piece just because of how they use pink in it. I want to be able to do that, especially how they're using blues in there. This is from Zazaza, XA, and they draw a lot of Wakfu and Dofus art. So that's that French animation stuff. And yeah, this is just what is filled in, especially Chris Sanders. Chris Sanders is great. He draws like the best girls, and they're not the typical like anime style like you see over there. Like they're not the typical anime style girls that you would see. He draws his own style, but it works because of the way he draws it. It works because of it's all cohesive in his design sense. So he doesn't have to use anime style to make something look good, but everyone else really has to because like it's the number one in terms of appeal. And even something like this like weird thing could be appealing in its own way. uh and I want to take elements of stuff that isn't just kind of naturally appealing like anime and find ways to make even the weird stuff look really really charming and appealing and cool to look at. So that's my swipe file. Let me go to the one that really inspires me. And this is my what do you call it? Oh, the style, color, and aesthetic. So my favorite two aesthetics are liminal space and Y2K aesthetic. So all that early 2000s stuff that that it's really kind of hard to describe, but once you see it, you just know, you can feel it. It's like something in your gut that you can just feel like, oh, this is from the early 2000s. I love this, that type of style. And what's in this folder, this is my best folder, and because it's my best folder, I try to keep it as limited as possible. I've had it for like maybe I don't know how many years, but I try to keep it as limited as possible because I want to keep the vision of it as undiluted as possible. So I only put things that I really, really like the style of in here. So it's not so much this anime character's facial style that I like. It's more the fact that all the colors are flat that are coloring here. All like they're all flat colors. And then the background has a nice gradient behind it that's blue that contrasts with the warmth of her um colors in the foreground, and yet you still know that she's in shadow looking at something maybe in the light somewhere. But let me just scroll through it so you can get a an idea of the vibe behind this. What I call it is otherworld vibe, or otherworld aesthetic. I call it that. That's my name for it. I said it first. So if anyone else says it, I can't. I said it first. Hey, Angels of the Renaissance, man, how you doing? Um, I don't know your actual name, but I think I saw it one time on Instagram or Twitter or wherever you're posted up. But how you doing, man? How you doing? You know what I got to find out from you is how you draw so many goddamn pages so fast. And that's what I'm watching your videos for is like, how is he drawing 100 pages per day? Like, that's crazy. Like, that's literally insane. I'm like flabbergasted, dude. So, I'm gonna watch your videos and see like, how is he actually like drawing so much art every single day? Ralph. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah. Cause it's the same with what's his name? DD Mark, who also draws like he gets a new chapter, 30 something page chapter out every month for Ruthless Render. I'm like, dude, how are you doing that? I want to draw like that. I want to draw with that speed, but I don't want to draw like badly. I want to draw quickly. And I'm not saying that y'all draw badly, but it's like if I were to start trying to go that fast, I would just be shitting the bed like all over the place. Oh fuck, I can't keep up. And I think that's a large part is because I use paper. I don't have any like assets or anything when I'm drawing on paper, so it's just like I'm just drawing uh everything on the page or using a hybrid of the page and digital, and it's just like maybe I should either use some digital assets and um uh all right, Spencer, man. Appreciate you coming out, dude. Good night, man. What's his name? Massive Panda is says DD Mark draws 1,000 miles an hour. I know, right? Like it's insane. Um, EC said flat color for characters reminds me of Mamoru Hosoda style. Yeah, he does that a lot for his stuff. Like Summer Wars. I think Summer Wars he did that, and what's the other one? That Wolf Children. Um, he says think of it as an assembly line. We're gonna have to go in depth on that, so because I want to know how you do it, dude. Because I'm trying to do it like that, but I treat my pages. This is what it is. I treat my pages too precious. Like I'm just like, I want this to come out right. I don't want to just like shit it out, or I just don't want to like speed up the process too much or whatever. And I think if I were to do it like you and DD Mark, what it is that I would draw so many pages that eventually I would just get better at being faster and get better at quality if I just do it correctly. But it's like I got to start making use of assets. But you're doing it on just pager on paper, dude. Like you're actually inking it on paper. It's like, do you even have assistants? Like, oh man, that's crazy. Like that's like a manga cost speed, man. Let's see. It might be worth throwing lines around like JJK just to get pages done. Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, if I can find out a way to just speed up the process and get more pages done, because I still have to color them at the end of the day. I can't just be black and white. Um, because I'm doing it in regular like American comic book style. That's the way I want to do it, and then I want to be able to do it to my quality standard is Invincible, so I want to be able to do it to the same quality standard of Invincible. If I can match these interiors, I think I'll be good. So I'm trying to do something similar to that. Let's see. Massive Panda, he says, a lot of times those assets really stiffen up images. I prefer to do all my line art traditionally and maintain consistency throughout, but whatever floats the artist boats. Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of uh webtoons that I see, like they look so dead just because they have so much they use so much assets, and they don't even artfully use the assets. They just slap them on there and it's just like, okay, cool, this is a building. It doesn't even match the aesthetic of what they're going for, but it's just like, all right, I bought this asset and here it is. It's fully drawn, and they don't really try to do anything to change it up. At least mangakas in Japan will do stuff to the drawings, to the pictures, like photo references, so that it looks like it's an actual drawing. And what you have to do is you have to artfully use those assets and make it work in as a cohesive piece of art, um with your composition and perspective and all that stuff. Asano Inio, exactly. Yep. Uses 3D assets but inks over them to give them a real feel before redigitizing them, which is also a cool process. Yep. I saw that one time in a Monben episode that showed how he was actually drawing and creating all his pages. I was like, yo, he uses the photographs and um photorealism to actually, like, the he uses the photographs to like actually trace over, and then um draws in ink lines that make it look like a drawing, and he does it really well. Let's see. Yeah, I know you have no assistants. That's the crazy part, man. I gotta figure out how to do that stuff too. Um, and you draw elaborate stuff like trains and buildings and stuff. Uh, so I'm trying to figure out how to do just go faster and get more pages done. But let's see. EC says, I also ink on paper, but I feel you on slowness. I scan in after, which helps to edit. Yeah, that does help to edit fast for sure. If you want to do custom effects, you can make them in Clip Studio using your scanned art. Yeah, I had to figure out how to do that, and it's like, oh man, do I want to learn a new skill right now? That's gonna take a while. But once I get back into the swing of drawing and completing like actual art again, then I'll be open to learning new techniques and figuring out how to go faster and all that. Because right now I'm really deep in the craft of writing and figuring out how to write stuff so that I can actually uh give meaning to the drawings that I'm doing. So like give meaning to the story telling that I'm doing. Let's see. Read that one. Said, yeah, I agree. I think a lot of those webtoons artists are pressured to have an intense upload schedule. Absolutely. But I think a lot of that stuff would look way better if they took their time. That's just me. Yeah. Um, yeah, they use a lot of assets and whatnot to draw their characters. But that, yeah, is definitely because of the time crunch that they have to get those pages out. And I'm wondering, do they draw the like weekly? Do they draw the same amount as a manga artist in Japan would draw? I'm wondering about that because they have them on like scrolling. It's all scrolling, but it's like do those amount of panels add up to the same amount of panels in, let's say, a weekly Shonen Jump manga? Because then if it does, it's like on top of that, you're having to color it as well. This isn't a manhwa or anything. It's just an older manga from Japan. Like they're drawing this stuff, I think weekly. I don't know if this was a monthly series, but I think it was weekly, and they're putting out high quality stuff on a weekly basis. So they got to be able to use those assets and use them really well. But they're all using the same assets, which is why they all look like the same copy and paste cookie cutter story, because they're all sharing the same things. Let's see. Yeah, Monben mentioned. Yeah, Monben is really good. Really good. I used to watch those all the time just to learn new techniques, especially from what was it? Was it Kazuo? No, it was Junji Ito. Junji Ito had an episode, and the guy who created Ushio and Tora, he had an episode too. That was really good. Or Karakuri Circus. Every comic and manga artist should watch Monben. Yeah, absolutely. Clip Studio is pretty intuitive. I started using it 2 weeks ago. Damn. And I'm working on a comic right now pretty easily. Nice. Yeah, it is really intuitive. I like it more than Procreate. And Procreate is just a one-time payment, but Clip Studio has been starting to up their amount on how much you have to pay to use it. And I'm just like, dude, come on, can we not do this anymore? Like it used to just be a one time, you buy it one time and you got it. But now it's like everything else, it's moving to a what do you call it, subscription model, where they're just like, hey, you got to pay us again, like pay up again, pay up again. It's like, dude, I just want to pay once and get the program and then keep it forever. But it is what it is, man. Like that's just the economy now. And you see many webtoon artists also have assistants. Yeah, they do. And it's only the really most popular webtoons that can afford a good amount of assistance and still have money left over for themselves and whatnot. So I'm gonna avoid webtoons for for as long as I possibly can. I mean, I'm gonna put my stuff up on Canvas, but I'm not gonna get a webtoons deal because I've heard really bad things about it. So I'm just not gonna even try unless they change their policies or something like that. And let me open up my file again. This is my what I call my style, color, and aesthetic style. It just encompasses everything that I love about art, and I want to create stories that where I can have moments like this, like something like this. Like this looks cool. It looks realistic, and it has a type of lighting situation that you don't typically see in anime or manga or even TV shows in general. So it's like it looks interesting, but I know it's just a still. There's no extra story behind it. It's not a comic book. You know what I mean? Like this is from the same artist and it looks great just because it's like the lighting situation of it and all that. It's beautiful. And this, I wonder if it's AI, but I hope it's not. Um it looks like it has enough human intent behind it to make it more like it's not AI at all. So, but this over here is definitely not AI, and that is probably one of the most beautiful little pieces that I've seen. Just because of the blue of the sky, and there's a whole dragon in the back there, but it's all beautiful, and it's by this creator named, what was it, Kureito. I don't know. Uh, and like I just find art from all over the place, and I save it to this board. Like this is cool, and then I found whoever this artist was on uh Instagram, and then they got really great angles and really cool, moody, atmospheric lighting and whatnot. It's really dope. Um, Oh yeah, Shane. He was like, I was there with you when you met Ryan Otley, Invincible's artist. Great weekend. His sketchbook was otherworldly. As I recall, he had a late night study session with masters there. Yeah, man, that was a great day, dude. Yeah, we were all at the table like eating oysters and stuff, and I think it was Papados after Comic Palooza in 2018 or 2019. I think it was 2018 Comic Palooza. And oh yeah, and you drove me home. So let me see if I have that picture still. Let me pull that up. Slight detour. Let me just go over to where actually I'm gonna leave that on and then pull up the picture wherever it is. And okay, I have my albums here. I know it's somewhere easily. Okay, yeah, it's probably here. Yup, here we go. Let me see. Okay, share this tab instead. Did it work? No, it didn't. Hold on. Share this tab instead. Okay, it worked. Here we go. And this is when I posted it to I think Instagram a long time ago. But okay, let me see if I can remember everyone's names here. So that's Paul Pope. That's Scotty Young. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Scotty Young. That's Ryan Otley right there. That's Shane. That's you right there. That's Nick. That's Troy. That's Spencer. He went to sleep recently. That's me, of course. And that's Stephen Green. And then that's James Heron. And that was a really great night. I think I was in the room with um Daniel Warren Johnson. Daniel Warren Johnson was there in the room. And Jeff what was his name? Jeff, the guy who did he says Shane says I look like a ghost. Why you use the Spanish? Oh wait, your last name is Martinez. You use the ja. But yeah, Jeff Shaw, that's his name. Jeff Shaw, he was in the room and he was just really jealous about Ryan Otley's like drawing sketchbook, like all those ballpoint pen drawings where it just looks like super realistic and super 3D, and he was just like pissed at how how great he was drawing those. And Daniel Warren Johnson was in the room. He showed me like a perspective trick that I forgot. I really forgot. Like it's a 1 point perspective trick and how to make things look good in 1 point perspective. And who else was there? It was Ryan Otley, Jeff Shaw, Daniel Warren Johnson, Paul Pope was in a different place. Was it James Heron? Was he there? No, I don't think he was in the room. But yeah, it was just a good time overall, man. It was a great time. Said you got all of them correct. I'm reading Shane's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is more unique and funny. Hey, Hero Darky Dark, how you doing, man? I'm waiting on your book to come out. What's is the Bullied Hero, but then you had a different one, the Storm Rail Riders. I'm waiting on that one as well, man. Let's see. Yeah, What a Meeting of the Greats. Yeah, it was my first time ever meeting like somebody like who's like a really great artist and whatnot besides Nick. And Nick, even at the time, he considered himself up and coming and really getting up there. So yep, that's Paul Pope on the left. Let's see. But yeah, that was a great night. So let me go back to, let's see, my art aesthetic and whatnot. Share this tab instead. So yeah, there's this one artist. Let me see. Okay, so main character name Noah Yoshihiro. No, not Zero to Hero. I'm talking about Hero Darky Dark's book, the relentlessly bullied hero. That one. And based on your board here, I feel like you'd enjoy Atsuya Uki's drawing, paintings, and his Senkurol movies. I remember seeing Senkurol a long time ago. I only remember seeing the first one. I know second one came out. Um, but I don't remember what it was about. I think there was just big white monster or something like that, and a bunch of Japanese kids doing some stuff. But it was a long time since I've been seeing those. Like maybe 2011, 2012. I forget. Let's see. That's an awesome experience to always remember. Yeah, absolutely, dude. It was it stays in my mind. I gave Ryan Otley a drawing that I did of Invincible and um Adam Eve. Let me see if I can find it. Mm, yeah, I think if I go onto Twitter, I can find where I did that because I gave it to him in person. I drew it and then I printed out a what do you call it? A print. I did a print of it and then I gave it to him in person. It was pretty dope. And then he signed my books and gave me an action figure. It was pretty cool. I was 20 at the time, so I was just like, all this stuff was just mind blowing to me. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Let me see. At the Comic latest. Oh yeah, cool. So let me share this tab. Make sure y'all are seeing it. Yeah, so I gave him this drawing that I did of Invincible and Adam Eve. I did that to I commemorate the ending of the comic book series, the original comic book series. It ended like at 144 a long time ago. And Ryan Otley himself, he said he was really, really tired towards the end of it. Because he was drawing all these like alien cities and he had to come up with all this new stuff and all these like different alien races and it was like really taking a toll on him. So he had to switch out with Corey Walker and he was the original artist on Invincible. So he had to switch out with him so that he could take over some of the art duties while Ryan Otley could get a break and draw Grizzly Shark or something. So yeah, that was a really nice bit of lore that he let me know. So yeah, that's how that was. Let me go to back to the aesthetic stuff. Yeah, there's this artist named Brujo Ari online, and I really love their art style. It's like that perfect mix of 90s and early 2000s. Like it's the art style that I would aspire to. But I don't want to meat ride, you know. I don't want to meat ride too much, and I don't want to take too much inspiration from them. Because if I could draw Eric and June just like this person draws their characters, it would be a wrap. Like that would be how I would want to draw Air Rider and all that. Um so that it looks like it has that style of like early 2000s 90s stuff. I'm sure if I go down deeper into the this file I have more art by them because I really just got inspired by them for the longest time. I was just like, wow, this is amazing. I'm still inspired by their art. Because they really nailed it. Let me see if I can find. And I'm gonna go back to what the fuck. Okay, I didn't. Okay, good. I didn't share this tab because that would have been a nightmare. Let me save that to Slayers. I have a Slayers board. It's for what do you call it? This anime called Slayers. Let me go to my board. Share this tab instead. All right, what y'all saying here? Master Panda, you said, yeah, Corey Walker only did about the first 10 issues or so before Ali took over. Yeah, Ali took over in issue 8 where Omni Man killed everybody. So I mean, where Omni Man, just did some stuff. That was episode one of the show, though. I read the first 30 issues of Invincible, but I fell off after a while. It's worth it to get through the whole thing. If you don't make it, you should make it to volume 2 before, or compendium 2 before you really decide to shake it off. Because once you get to this fight, the conquest fight, it will be like reading Dragon Ball Z, dude. That fight is so worth it to get up to. So it's probably way further in than 30 issues. But once you get to that fight, it's like, this is dope. And then you're basically on board for the rest of the series. Let's see. Corey Walker was dope at the end of Invincible. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I think he really was able to match Ryan Otley's flow by the end. And it was a great series the whole way through. It's one that you can read over and over again, and you're just like, wow, this is still really fun. Okay, so I was sharing this screen, trying to show you, what was I trying to show you? It had something to do with, oh yeah, it was my I think it was my regular swipe file. So this is the one that I use for most stuff, or for the things that like I really want to keep, that I really want to take some notes from in terms of style. And that's where I have all the Brugal Ari stuff. So let me see if I'm actually showing this. Yeah, I really love this style and how they draw all the proportions and whatnot. You can tell that they put a lot of time and effort into making sure they had the right lines and figuring out what to cut off, what to keep, and what to like, how to draw their style. Like, because a lot of this is based off of like Daria style or MTV Downtown. But then they took elements from, and this is like especially good drawing. They took elements from a lot of different other art styles and put it into one very clean cartoon art style. Like they can draw a lot of good stuff. So like, and they're really great with expressions. So that's what I really like about this art style. Let me see if there's more. Yep, yeah, I saved so much stuff. I think I originally found them on, oh yeah, on Pinterest, of course. Originally found them on Pinterest, tried to find where they actually were because it wasn't under their actual name. Somebody reposted it but didn't credit the actual artist, so I had to backward search the art in Google so I could figure out who the actual artist was. And then I eventually found their Instagram where they're posting all kinds of stuff like that. So I was just like, dope. And the thing about what's the word? What was it about their art style? Yeah, and it can also be, it can also look like Jamie Hewlett style. Oh yeah, this was my favorite piece. This one just looks, it screams early 2000s, like late 90s. It's right on that cusp, and it just, the lines just work with it, the colors, the posing, the expression, like it's just, it really hits. And it was all a fan art of JoJo, uh as you can see here. So it was just her reimagining, or his, I forget, their reimagining of characters from a different series. So let me see. Hewlett is an absolute beast. Yeah, absolutely. Tank Girl artwork is fire. Yup. Yeah, I want to there's this book I want to get. It's called The Whole of Tank Girl. I want to grab that book and just study it and just draw from it and all that stuff cuz it looks really good. I checked it out from a library one time. But it's $60 and I with $60 I could get so many other books that I'm just like, I'll hold off on that one until I really want to grab something like that. Um, So yeah, I'm just like I look at their art style. I'm just like, what can I take from this that wouldn't scream that I'm taking from this person? And this piece right here is like really good. It's like that's like a classic cartoon style. It reminds me of Clerks, or yeah, mostly Clerks, just because it has that bold outline and then the thinner inlines and whatnot. It's the same with Billy and Mandy, but it's not the same type of style. This is like that MTV late 90s, early 2000s style where it's just like um the characters are going through like real stuff, but it still looks like a regular cartoon. So yeah, I love Brujo Ari style. And yeah, they're able to copy other styles really well. So this is like um there was that show 16, but then there was a spin-off show called, I don't think it was a spin-off, it was just in a similar style. It was called like, I don't know, Surfs Up or Waves or something like that. But this is based off of that surfing show from Canada and Teletoon and all that stuff. And they're really good at copying that. And most of this stuff is just like Y2K based, like Witch. I used to watch Witch when I was a kid with my sister because I like the theme song. So I was just like, this is dope. And she's got a skateboard here, so I'm like, okay, maybe I could steal that for an air rider. What the hell? I just cut out for some reason. I didn't even know I was cut out. Um I was talking about like Brujo Ari and stuff, and then my computer just booted me off of the stream. Hey, what's up, Ichthys? How you doing, man? Is that how you pronounce it, or is it Ichty 5? Tell me, please. You did a great job on Air Rider Skater piece. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's actually not even finished yet. I know what you're talking about. Let me pull up that screen here. Um, let me pull it up real quick. Share my screen. Share screen. Share screen. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully it's sharing. Yep. And yeah, this piece is not done yet. I just did it as fast as possible. Like in the last couple of nights, I colored it as fast as possible just so I could have it there to show. I want to draw something on the bottom of the skateboard so that it has like a design to it and it's not just plain bottom of a board. And I want to fix up some of the colors there here and there and bolden the outline a little bit so that he stands out more like a graphic, like a Sonic drawing would. Um, let's see. Just some girl without a mustache says, "Need more big booty Latinas in manga. I do not care." Where can you find that these days? I'm not even sure. Maybe I should be the one to do that. I think I'll be the one to do that. The first one to go, if I must. Let's see. How you pronounce it the first time is correct. Ichthys. Okay, dope. Dope, dope, dope. Master Pen. I remember Tyler Carpenter used to refer to Ichthys as Ichty 5 for the longest time back in the day. Oh, really? Yeah, I heard him saying it as Ichthys, so I was just like, okay, maybe that's the correct way to say it. But yeah, that is some old school lore. Fine, I'll do it myself. Yeah, I really do be like that. It's just like, yeah, nobody else is doing it, and you just got to do it yourself. So let me go back because the stream cut off for some reason, and I my screen just cut out. So when I came back, I was just like, "What the hell is going on here?" And it's not showing what I'm doing. So share this tab. Let me make sure I'm here. Um, wait a minute. Share this tab. Yeah, before I cut out, I was talking about like how Y2K in terms of style these look. This is more 90s, closer to the 90s style, but that's just because of the drawing of the characters. And it's going into the early 2000s. Like it's late 90s, very late 90s, like probably the earliest 2000s or something like that. And I could tell just by looking. If this is from the 80s, I'd be surprised, but it's got too many different tells to show that it's like from the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. Um, hey Jeremiah, what's up? He says Felipe Smith, MBQ, and Peepo Chu. He draws women really well. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Um, let me see. What was I looking at? Oh yeah. So I wanted to go back to the show this tab. So I collected a whole bunch of pieces of art that I call the otherworld aesthetic. Because I couldn't perfectly categorize it in Y2K style or liminal style. It has moodiness, but it's not exactly what's the word? It's not exactly grim dark like a liminal piece would be, or it's not absolute darkness like a liminal piece would be. And this just has like unique colors to it and a weird interesting what's the word, composition to it that makes it look interesting, and the colors just feel naturalistic and not gaudy or imposing. And then I love the work of Demizu Posuka, the artist behind The Promised Neverland. They do really, or she does really good stuff. And oh yeah, I love this artist named JG Genesis Keys. They do they do animations, and then they're doing a video game, and they make music on YouTube. They just post randomly on YouTube, and it's just like a new banger every week or so, just a new piece of music that they're making. And I don't know what they do for work or how they keep this work coming, but it's great. All of it's great. And this was a really great free run piece. It's like you almost don't even need free run there, and the piece is still good without it, or without her there. But it's just like it has these colors that are so amazing. And so my whole goal with Air Rider is to develop the skills that eventually I can eventually draw like this, but then have a story to accompany it that would elevate this art to the highest level that it can possibly go. So if I don't know how to write a good narrative or don't know how to write a good story, then even if I am able to draw like this, it would just fall flat because it wouldn't be supported by a decent story. Like this piece right here is one of my favorites of all time, just because of how the sky is done in the back and then how the characters come out in front. Like the color of their hair is like interesting, and then like I just want to know more. Like even just this like armor or something like that on their chest. It's like I want to know more about the characters in their world and what's going on there. But what if the story's bad? You know what I mean? Like if the story's trash, then it's like, oh man. I mean, I like looking at it. I really like looking at this piece, but I want to you understand, I want to make art that lives up to the story, and I want to make a story that I can make art that lives up to it. Um so I just every once in a while when I need to refill my cup of artistic inspiration, I'll go back to this page and I'll just scroll down because I have like 700 of these pieces of art. Like this one's really nice right here. This this piece of link art where he's just cutting off this finger, and the composition of it and the where he's standing in the piece and the flow of motion in it is really beautiful. So yeah, things with a blue sky or things that are just like positioned interestingly. I just have it all on this board where I can like reference it and eventually draw like that one day. So that is what I do with that's my goal with creating Air Rider, because Air Rider is actually um the story that I'm using to warm up and get good at drawing and storytelling and writing, so that I can eventually get to the story that I really want to do, which is called, well, actually I forget I don't forget the name of it, but it doesn't have a name um that I can use, but it featured this character called Marley that I drew a long time ago. She was my old OC and whatnot, but I didn't think of things in terms of OCs. I just thought of things in terms of story. Like I was gonna make this into a manga that was gonna be like super awesome and get an anime and all that stuff, but that's not really how the world works exactly. So let me go back to the comments here and see what's up. Hmm. Do you have a top 5 manga, indie manga comics list aside from your own, of course? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I'll get back to that question, but I'm gonna look at these other ones first. Promise Neverland is a horror manga and it's so good. The anime doesn't give it the justice with all the twists and thrills that happen in the pages. Yeah, yeah, it really does. It really does like drop the ball. Demizu Posca is amazing. Accidentally talked to them one time because I didn't know it was them, and I told them their style reminded me of Promise Neverland. They're on the new Beyblade series. What the heck? You accidentally talked to them? How? Like, was it in person or was it like online? I didn't know they were doing a Beyblade series. That's cool. Let's see. Said freaking love Pinterest is a deep pool of references that you'll end up getting lost. Yeah, it is. I used to just sit there for hours just grabbing new things all day. It was a good time though. Let's see. What was I looking at next? Oh yeah. So I was gonna tell you, take you to my DeviantArt where I had my old mm, my old what do you call it? Art. And yeah, let's just go through the old gallery here. Because Air Rider is I came up with it when I was 17. And the basic premise at the time was the main character, he got kicked out from his house by like his mom kicked him out of his house for getting violent, and it was on accident. And on accident and um the whole story was basically him trying to earn his way back into his home. So it was very simple at the start. There was no superpowers, there was no special abilities. It was just like Great Teacher Onizuka, where the main character would just have to use his wits and his skateboard and all that stuff to solve the issues, solve the problems of different students around school, and they would eventually like look up to him and respect him and all that stuff. And then by the end, his mom would see how much he had changed and eventually just let him back in the house. And that was it. It was a very simple story. He would work with a mentor, his guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor would use him to reach out to students that he couldn't reach on his own because they would stop coming to counseling and whatnot. And it was a very, very simple story, and it was all very realistic and realism. Um, and nowadays, the story in my mind has ballooned to a proportion where I can now include art in the style that I actually like. I can now include that liminal style, include that Y2K style. Instead of limiting myself to making it realistic just because I want to limit myself, I'm expanding so that I can make it in the style that I want to, that otherworld aesthetic or that otherworld transcendent, sublime, like looking style. Um so let me take you through my DeviantArt. This is I'm gonna show you what's man, where's the infinite scroll? I want the infinite scroll. Let me go through all the pages. Is this the damn it? Okay, so let me just go. I'm going to show you the old character that I used to draw all the time. That she was the character that I was going to start with, because I came up with a good story for her, and I was just like, okay, so I'm gonna draw this story, and it's gonna be super awesome, um, and it's gonna be like dope, and people are gonna love it, and I'm gonna get an anime in Japan, and it's gonna be super awesome. So this is actually her in the top left corner. And this was like an artist versus art versus artist thing that I did a long time ago. Um, so there's a lot of studies on here. This was actually when I first started training with Nick Patera, and he was like, take this Ultimate Muscle figure and draw a full turnaround of him so that you can figure out how 3D space works. And I was just like, damn, that's hard. And it was, because I had to use all these lines and whatnot to match with the turnarounds. And eventually it worked out, but it was difficult to pull off. So these are the characters. So these characters oh yeah, the story was called Gillen Seed. And the idea of it just started appearing in my head. Actually, there was a story even before that, where I called it Core, and it was gonna be my version of One Piece, where it's just a long, sprawling epic where the main characters travel to different lands and do all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, man, that's too long and involved. I don't have the skills to write this, or I don't have the skills to draw this yet. And so then I fell back to Gillen Seed. I was like, all right, so I'm going to use this to practice in order to get good enough to draw Core. And then I'm going to start drawing these characters and make a fantasy story. And it's going to be super dope. And all these characters will learn new things about life and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh man, this story is actually getting long and bloated, and I don't really have the writing chops to pull this off. So I'm gonna have to fall back again. And that's how Air Rider was born. The end. You know, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna have to go with my third best idea. And I had like tons of ideas before, but some of them were only like either like shorter stories or not fully thought out or well developed. So I was just like, okay, these ones don't seem as fun to start because they're not that great. So uh I'm just gonna go with Air Rider because it has the strongest premise. It had the strongest premise, so I was just like, and it had a lot of potential for depth. So I was just like, all right, let me go with that one. The son of a school shooter. How is that even possible? I had to ask myself that question. I was just like, is that even possible? How does that work? Because nobody who shoots up a school procreates. So it's like, how did that even work? But yeah, this is Marley. And let me go back to the comments, see what's up. Said, bro used to be an average skateboarder before he locked in for real. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's basically it, man. Massive Fantasy said, whoa, what was that? Reed Richards with his arm twisted up like it's a wind up before he throws a punch. Can you go back to that? That looks dope. Yeah, it's a picture that I did that's like One Piece. it was meant to show how Reed Richards should use his powers to make it more interesting, because it was because that's how Luffy would use his stretching powers. So Reed Richards, he's more like Plastic Man in that he just kind of stretches to grab a beaker or whatever, and then he's like super smart and he makes some formula to do something or whatever. But Luffy would use his power interestingly, like he would do like this would be what was it, Gum Gum Rifle, or where he cocks back and twists his arm and uh and punches whatever he punches, it just gets like fucking burned, dude. So yeah, that's this piece I did a long time ago, man. Yeah, appreciate that, Panda. um but yeah, I was doing stuff like that just because oh, show this tab instead. Yeah, I was doing stuff like that just because I was like, there's a lot of other stretchy characters in America, but America is not using the characters in a like they're not using their stretchy powers in a way that's like exciting or interesting to me, because I had the example of One Piece to go off of, so I was just like, yeah, this is way better. Um, and Luffy used to be my, what's the word, profile picture for the longest time. Like he was my profile picture for everything, because he was my favorite character out of the big three um uh manga that were going on at Shonen Jump at the time. And this is Kamala Khan using Luffy's Gear Third power, but it's really just her actual regular power, but she's using it like how Luffy would. Um, and this is Superman going super Kryptonian. That's what I called it, super Kryptonian Superman. Um, and then I drew Batman in a Goku pose. So this is when Goku is actually fighting Frieza, and I just use that as reference to draw Batman. Let me see. What the? Okay, I actually, yeah. So I actually showed what I did there, where I took it from. Um, but let me go back to this tab. So this one right here is a master study of Blame. It is the liminal aesthetic in perfection. Like it's the best I've ever seen of the liminal aesthetic portrayed. And I was trying to copy, like, what is it that makes it so bleak and so dark? And this is a black and white version. It's not even I didn't even put tones or anything on it. Let me see. And in fact, I got a really good find from a bookstore recently, a discount bookstore called Half Price Books in Texas. I think it's just a Texas chain, but it's called Biomega, and it is epic. Let me. Oh, whoops. Share my screen. Yep, it's called Biomega, and it's basically, I think it came after Blame, but it's got that liminal aesthetic in spades, where it's just big looming buildings that just give you a sense of dread or uh like nihilism, like. But then what Tsutomu Nihei does is that he basically, I don't think he really writes the stories so much as uses it as an excuse to draw whatever cool shit he can think of. He just uses it to draw the coolest things that he can think of, and that's the basis for the story anytime he draws something. So it's like, okay, this character wants something. It almost doesn't even matter. We just get cool art the whole time. Like this shot right here where he's like, the roads don't make any sense. it's like a human being shouldn't even be riding on that stuff. It's all dangerous, and there's no contractors making sure all the stuff is laid out correctly. It's just created um for a visual feast, man. It's awesome. So I love it. Um he uses great angles, and he has a great sense of space and depth and horror. Like he can make things really scary. Like, oh my goodness, like what is that? You don't know, but on this previous page, you just see a dark hole, and then you see some vague shadow shapes in there, and you're just like, well, what's that? And then it's just like, oh fuck, oh my goodness, you don't want to get anywhere near that. But then you see on the next page the main character already swipe, like he's going so fast he's already passed them. And then he runs into a girl. It's like, oh Jesus. And then it's just like it just operates on the rule of cool. Like if you can draw this as cool as possible, that's what is in this book. Like it's just a guy riding a motorcycle on the turn of a castle spire, and it's just like who even thinks of this? Like I think Americans are, and I don't like to, I don't always mean to like disparage Americans or whatever, but Americans are so focused on drawing things realistically and making sure everything is correct and whatnot that they don't even think to draw something cool like this. Um, Only one I've seen recently was Nick, in terms of Axe Wheeler John, where he drew like fucking, he drew some stuff that you can't even really do in movies because it just wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't work. Like you can only do it in comics. Uh, and that's what like he's making full use of the comics medium. Let's see. Said I think they have a half price books here in Atlanta. It's been there for a while now. Okay, nice. Dope, 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 dope. Texas mentioned W. I live here. I live in Texas. Biomega is rad. Yeah, it really is. It's great. Um, so I'm gonna study the art from that as well. So let me see. Share this tab. We'll go. Turn my screen off. Style mesh up. I did a Batgirl comic in school and all that. Oh yeah, and this is a Supergirl comic I did a long time ago. I used to be obsessed with Supergirl for some reason. I was just drawing her all the time. And I never read any of the comics. I didn't read any of the comics, and I didn't care. Oh, I only saw her in the, what do you call it? The Bruce Timm cartoons, and this is not even her design in the Bruce Timm cartoons. She was wearing white. She had a unique design in that one. But yeah, I just used to be obsessed with drawing her at that time. So I was just like, yo, let me make some more stuff regarding this character. And this was a piece I did before I went into the Kubert school. I was really trying to get the painting part right, like the abs and the what do you call it, the oblique muscles and whatnot. But I don't think her legs connect correctly to the right spot on the hips. I think that's the only thing, because I was manipulating it digitally so that it would look more correct, but I think it just ended up messing it up a little bit. And that was before I knew how to draw through the form, draw through figures, so that it would make it look more correct. But yeah. And then this pose was from a what do you call it? Goku and J Star's Victory Versus. So yeah, I used to draw stuff like that all the time. And I have a lot of Invincible fan art. He would beat Spider-Man. That's, it sucks, but yeah, he's just that strong. And this was the piece that I gave over to Ryan Otley. Says I did this back in March. I finished it back in March 2018. Damn. Yep. But yeah. Hey, appreciate it, Ralph. He says you have quite the variety of artwork. Well done. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to The main things, what when I started, before I started my quote unquote art career, it hasn't really even kicked off yet, to be honest. But before I started, I had four things that I really wanted to nail down and get good at, and that was uh human expressions. I wanted to be able to draw characters that looked like human beings and you could feel like they were like real people on the page. I wanted to master colors and like composition, perspective, what do you call it? Atmosphere, so I can make those make the art feel like I wanted it to feel, like I showed you on my Pinterest board. Um Let me go to it. Like I wanted to master color and all that so that I could make things look like how I wanted them to look. Like imagine if I could tell a story in a setting that looks like this. This is a Treasure Island. And it looks amazing just from this one still. But I wanted to have that ability for myself so that I could actually do that on my own. Um and that was it. So it was the human expression, um color and atmosphere and perspective and composition, making sure that I could draw in all directions and all colors, all atmospheres. Like this is gloomy, like something like that, or this is a bright blue sky, or something like this. Like just make cool stuff like this. But then I wanted to master narrative and visual storytelling, so that I could make it all have meaning and make it all make sense, so that whenever I drew, it would actually mean something. Whenever I drew something, it would actually come together as a full product, and that's my goal with Air Rider. So those were the things that I thought of before the start of my career, that I'm like, all right, I need to focus on these things if I want to get good at them for the rest of my career, and I can't slack on it early on. I have to figure out the right way to write. I have to figure out the right way to draw and color and all that stuff, so that, and do like human emotions, so that once so that I'll have those skills for later in my career when I'm actually established, and then I don't have to pick them up later on. I'll be ahead of the game, and I'll be so focused on that nobody else will even be on that same wavelength, and I'll be the number one person doing that. um and that's what Air Rider is to help me facilitate doing. uh I'm using it as a means to, like, here's my attempt at trying to put more mood in a piece and have that more cartoony Y2K early 2000s style in that. And it's like, okay, so I used even like a blur effect for background foreground stuff, like paper and leaves and all that stuff. um and because I focused on it early on, it's like, okay, I can only try to keep getting better at it over time. Uh hey Stephen Wings, appreciate it. Appreciate the congratulations. Thank you, thank you. Um but yeah, I'm just about to wrap up here. Uh Air Rider number 2. Let's see. I'm gonna set the page, see if we got any more pledges. All right, we got 10 backers. Nice, nice, nice. 194. Nice. So let's see if we can break 200 tonight, and then let's see how it turns out for the rest of the couple of days. I set it up to be 500 just as an arbitrary thing, because I work on the book myself, and whatever amount I make on the campaign is, I'm not even really considering the amount of money that I make right now. I'm just putting my name out there, getting people interested in the book, interested in the story, so that eventually I can snowball it into something bigger and into bigger opportunities in the future. Um Yeah, Steven says better late than never. Never. Um, but yeah. So Air Rider number 2. Let's look at the trailer.
They broke her wrist, and now they'll pay. Eric Volgin seeks to
Um,
destroy June's masked attackers, but he needs to find them first. Only one kid has access to that info, but he won't give it up without a fight. What happens in the ensuing confrontation? The ending will knock you flat. Air Rider number 2 will also come with a 6-page bonus collaboration with a certain purple alien creation from the mind of Zachary Morois, a Hubert School alum with a wild imagination. With Air Rider High School Hero, the 90s and early 2000s era of cartoons and anime is coming back with a vengeance. Take flight with Air Rider High School Hero today, only on Kickstarter.
nice. Yeah, and that took me like a couple of days to make because it was I had to write out the script and then do the voice changer. I use this AI program called Fake You to get the Toonami guy voice. Master Panda, your trailers give me chills. Real talk. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I think it's mostly the it's mostly the Toonami guy doing his voice and the music. I think I just nailed the music the first time, and now I can just keep using that going on into the future. So let's see. I think somebody backed while the trailer was playing. Let's see. Make it small. Can you see my screen? Okay, cool. Yeah. Steven Wings did Toonami voice. Yeah. Yeah, it's really it really helped sell that 90s vibe. Awesome. We broke 200 tonight. Nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, what was I talking about with Air Rider? Yeah, this project, the book is already done. Well, not the Kickstarter version. So let me show you right here. This is the version that I use for. This is actually a proof that I got from Comics Wellspring, but this is actually the version that I sell at conventions. It only has 20 pages, which is just the story pages of the comic. But if you back the Kickstarter, it'll include a 6-page bonus comic and then a couple of pages from issue number 3 to entice the reader into reading the next issue and all that. But yeah, this is issue number 2, and it's basically like reading a Disney magazine. Like it's basically like reading a cartoon in your hands. It's just like, oh wow, this is actually like a legitimate cartoon. It's not like it's not exactly an anime, and it's not exactly a cartoon either. Because whenever people look at my style, people who are like comic creators who are deep in comic style, they say that my art looks too anime-ish. They say it looks more anime than anything. But then people who love anime and hardcore into the anime style, they say it looks really cartoonish or it looks really different. It doesn't look like anime at all. So people who are leaning one way or the other think my art just is right on that in between where it's like neither, but it's both. It's crazy. So I take a lot of inspiration from Fooly Cooley, FLCL, and from Codename Kids Next Door a little bit, and just all those classic 2000s cartoons like Static Shock, early Teen Titans, Danny Phantom, all that stuff. Steven Wings is like Y2K aesthetic makes my brain go buzz. Yeah, man, same here. Because it's just really. I was born during those times, not in the 2000s. I was born in the 90s, but I grew up in that period of time. So it's just like everything from that time period is really nostalgic for me, and I like to bring things back to that. This is what both manga fans and comic fans would call a graphic novel. Yeah, yeah, basically. Um, let's see. So yeah, I keep politics out of it. It's just a simple cartoon story, and this is about me, the creator, and then this is my buddy who collaborated with me on the cover, and then I collaborated with him on a 6-page story that I did back in 2021. So he's repaying me by doing this cover for me and helping me out with that. Um, so I'm gonna color it up and make it look really nice, and then I'm gonna update the graphic on there so that it looks awesome. And yeah, it's oh yeah, my goal from last time was to get a burrito. That was um my budget. Like that was part of my budget goals for last time. Let me look at that. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I eventually got that burrito. And oh, hold on. Share this tab instead. Yeah. So 99% shipping and fulfillment, and then 1% for that burrito. And eventually I got it. So it was spicy and it was really good. Um and this time it's just going to be a single vanilla soft serve ice cream cone from McDonald's. That's all I want. Um and so I'm going to use the majority of the budget for shipping and fulfillment, and then 1% for ice cream. Um It says, makes sense because there's that time where Western and Eastern influences were sharing so much with each other. Yeah, they really were. Especially like during the time of Tezuka, he was taking a lot from Disney and whatnot. And then there was that time in the early 2000s where you had just stuff like not even just the early 2000s, but the throughout the 2000s in general, where you just had Studio Trigger, or not Studio Trigger, Studio Gainax taking a whole bunch of stuff from American cartoons, especially like Powerpuff Girls and all that, and turning it into their anime style, like with Panty and Stocking, and that little South Park scene in Fooly Cooly. Like they took so much and it made their work stronger. Anime these days is just stealing from itself over and over and just recycling the same style to where it just looks like a incestuous version of itself. I've heard that a few times stated somewhere else, but I forget who said it. It's just incestuous. It's like taking off of itself. But when you have something like Gynax, when they're taking stuff like from other cultures and strengthening their own style, it's like, okay, they're making it better than it could just be on its own. It's the same with a guy like Jorge Jimenez. He draws this really anime manga style version of comics. Um like he takes a lot from anime and manga. Let me just show you. Where is it? 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 Oh yeah. All right. Let me share this tab instead. So I first discovered him through his Super Sons book. And if you look at his style, it's got that intensity and it's got that energy of manga. And he's doing all this stuff in Clip Studio. You can tell. And I've seen videos of him drawing. So yeah, he's doing it in Clip Studio. And he's got that manga esque style, but he's also got the form and the solidity of an American traditional comic book style. So it's like the best of both worlds. He's able to do both, really well and balance it out really well. It's not just anybody that can do this. This guy was drawing since he was younger than me. Like, he was drawing since he was born, basically. Like, to be able to draw something like this is an anime moment. Like, this is literally an anime moment, and he's doing it perfectly well in comics. Like, he's doing it perfectly in comics. Um, but I guarantee you that I try not to be a hater, dude. I try not to be a hater, but I'm just gonna say it. I guarantee you the writing doesn't match the intensity that he's portraying on this on in his drawings. Like, the writing in American comics doesn't have that same freedom that that Japanese comics do, to where they can make a moment like this work. Like, this looks epic and it's awesome, but if I read that issue, half of it's going to be just a bunch of people sitting around talking, and then we finally get to a fight and it's just like, okay, there's this moment, but it wasn't a full issue of fighting like we would get in like a Naruto uh comic or something like that, a Naruto manga. But Jorge Jimenez is like the perfect mix between the two styles. And then you have Studio Gainax, which back when they were still Studio Gainax and still doing all that stuff, they were taking a lot. His name is Yo Yoshinari, taking a lot from American cartoons, not the comics, the cartoons. So like big expressive eyes like this is not something you would normally see. Like how Simone has here is not something you would normally see in most manga, where it's like intense like that. Usually they're more chilled, like this girl right here. Am I sharing the right screen? Okay, let me make sure I'm still on the screen. Said, yeah, their ice cream is working. Yeah, it's usually not. That's why it's so special if I'm able to get it. Said, this guy gets it. Miyazaki says that. Okay, yeah, that's where I probably heard it from. Said, even now you see a lot of modern comics shift towards that manga style. While on the manga side, My Hero Academia is obvious. Yeah, absolutely. Not to mention the new Naruto XTMNT crossover comic. Yeah, I got to read that because I want to see how they use the elements of Naruto and mix them in with the elements of TMNT. And I don't know why nobody's ever thought of it before, but maybe people have, but they finally got the license to be able to do that and make something official out of it. So that's going to be really cool to see how they mix the styles. Love Jorge's way of drawing hair. He does not shame away from those manga tones on his Western work. Yeah, absolutely. And he has great colors too. I think his name is Alex Sinclair, or it's the other guy, Alejandro something. I forget his name. Sanchez, maybe. I mean, Jorge himself said is a reference to a father and son. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. It was the father and son Kamehameha that I was thinking of. I was like, yep. Thank the CCA for that. I think for the censorship, but I don't know what CCA stands for. I forget. The Kung Fu movie to Black Exploitation to Slam Dunk to Dragon Ball to Samurai Champloo to Air Gear to Air Gear. Yeah, dude. Air Gear, man. Is one of my prime inspirations for drawing the speed and action of Air Rider. It's not in the first few chapters, but it's gonna be further on down the line because it's just so good. Like, the creator is really great at conveying speed and also titties, but mostly speed and stuff. To Teen Titans Pipeline. Yeah, man. And then there's the FLCL to Avatar The Last Airbender pipeline as well. Yeah. Comics Code Authority, that's what you're talking about. Jeremiah, he says, Simone DeMeo has a lot of anime in his style. He just got back from living in Japan while working for DC. That's interesting. Let me see what that's about. But my main point is that taking stuff from other styles strengthens the style overall. So like American comics without anime looks sort of flat sometimes, but then when you take in some of that dynamism from anime, like Jeremiah, yeah, you were right on the money, man. Like when you take some of the dynamism from anime and the posing and whatnot, you can make something like a much more interesting image and still have it be fully rounded, fully fleshed out and whatnot. Hey, is that a fucking that's fucking Chainsaw Man Volume 2 right there? What the fuck? And Chainsaw Man Volume 10. Wow. That's funny. But yeah, this is a nice drawing there. Let's see. Yeah, this stuff is cool. But what was I talking about? Has an art exhibition in Japan. Wow. Nice. So let me see. Let me go back to share this tab instead. All right, so I'm gonna try to get an ice cream cone from McDonald's. And this is just a look inside. I'm not gonna read through all that stuff. But maybe I think I'll use AI one day to do a what's it called? A voiceover for the characters. And there's this guy, his name is Barack Obeezy, who does this Naruto gangster hood version. And it's really hilarious. But he uses 11 Labs to do all the voices of the characters, and it's really funny the way he does it. So I think I could do the same thing with voicing the characters, and then make it like bring the comic to life in that way. But yeah, that's the look inside, and I'm gonna have it printed by Comics Wellspring again. And yeah, that's it. Support it today, support it tomorrow. We got 30 days for this whole thing, so support it whenever you get the chance. And thank you to anyone who's backed it so far. I'm really grateful for y'all who are in the comment section and who came out to the this video. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. It's been a long stream, but I'm actually operating off of maybe 4.5 hours of sleep, because I was really up late last night trying to get this all put together and whatnot. So, and then just posting stuff on social media is it takes way longer than you think, just getting all the links in the right place and all that stuff. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate y'all backing, and y'all have a great night. Getting comic created and ice cream. Yeah, take care. Peace out. Congrats. Appreciate it. Thanks, Steven. All right. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.